about, when they get on the meetings and they talk about the abatements
Right.
that certain buildings receive, we have buildings in our town, they get abatements because they're senior buildings. And for example, it was a building on Essex Avenue, that's a low income, I think to moderate income housing building. So most of the people that live in that building, they meet certain guidelines to get certain things. So that pallet came due. It was at its 20 year, and people in the audience fussed at the council people because we voted to extend it. Had we not extended it, that building has about 200 people in it. It's going to change to market rate.
Right.
So now you're displacing
I know.
200 people. So we sometimes we aren't forthright about the things that we say, and then people listen. Sometimes, and the people don't necessarily do their own homework. Like, I go to church, I love the Lord, and my pastor, he preaches a sermon to us every Sunday, but you got to read the word for yourself. Those people who are believers in the way, you got to do your research for yourself. You don't just take what a man is saying from that and take it as the gospel. You have to read and do research for yourself, and that's the same thing with our town. Like our taxes went up as well, but there's some things in the town that I'm not happy about. For example, the garbage pickup. I'm not happy about the garbage pickup. I'm not happy that we have to have a town employee drive behind this garbage truck to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. We pay them good money. Why can't you do what you're supposed to do?
I'm waiting on somebody's checking on it. Oh, that's not a big concern.
How are you?
They get senior tax abatement for seniors. How come I can't get one?
Did you apply for one?
No, I didn't know I could.
Okay. Oh, okay. So did you apply for the senior freeze?
Yeah, they told me I make too much money and I'm retired.
Oh, well, it's still based on income.
They told yeah.
It's based on income.
Is
Based on income.
there an appeal process that you go through? What's your name, sir?
No.
Wallace Chance.
Mr. Chance. I know most everybody else here.
And I live on Beechwood. And when I went to the
Beechwood over there, up on the south.
above the VA hospital.
Oh, up that way. Oh, that's orange. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Oh,
Yeah. But that didn't happen when I first
Oh,
moved
okay,
here.
yeah.
But our last 20 years, things have gotten real
Federally
crazy over there.
Street and
So your concerns are your tax.
Yeah,
That's your
that's my concern. My daughter, she lives in Philly, so my wife was from Philly. So we were talking about taxes, so I said, let me go on the computer. And I said, Philly, okay, Philly gives out their bills go out in December, but they're not due until March. But that's it. Go out in December, pay it March. But they don't have all that quarter stuff like we had. They said, yeah, because they damn taxes, we are so.
And it might be based on the type of
Yeah, but that's
the form of government that they have.
so whatever government is, I was just looking at how they pay them and how they are billed. When they bill go on December, they pay them March. I said, they don't have all this quarter stuff.
you don't even
Their bill, their tax like that high.
You don't think orange is that in the Philly?
I couldn't pay mine like that.
Oh.
I need another job. And who's gonna hire an 80-year-old man to make that kind of money?
Yeah. You're right.
What kind of field?
He just doesn't.
What kind of field was it?
Bus mechanic.
Oh, bus mechanic. Oh, yeah.
Bus driver, bus mechanic. That's what my field was. But now I need to be a corporate tycoon. I don't have those qualifications, you know, to pay oranges in Essex County or taxes. You know, because this is getting crazy.
Well, at some point.
Born and raised in East Orange. My mother always complained of taxes going up. But yet they stay there forever.
Well, you're supposed to, I don't know, it's a mix. It's a lot of
Well, so I told my wife, yeah, we should get up and move, but that's a whole lot of another subject.
Right.
You know?
Well, I think it comes a time older people have to consider where they live by their, everybody know older people income decline as they get older. So unless you saved up a lot or did other things to prepare for it.
It doesn't matter how much you save, at the rate they're jacking us up.
No, that statement, what, 5% a year?
I don't get to that. I don't get into that. I just get into the bill.
So I have some.
So
Well,
pissed. 6 years. 6 years. It should not be going on. No.
we take it.
No. You're gonna feel my anger. You're gonna feel my disgust. And if I need to cuss in order to not going to be upset. Maybe this is what it takes in order for something to happen.
You know what?
Yes,
Just so you know, she's been on the council method for 3 years.
yes.
The cops, and just so you know, they have done everything humanly possible to stop it. They put up the signs, no parking in the driveway. Every time she calls, the cop goes over there and she takes it.
Yes.
But one of the things I guess I want to say is, I mean, we can't stop human nature. Because if somebody comes, I have a driveway. And sometimes I look out, people park there, but they're there for a minute and they leave. But I can't run out there every time. You know what I'm saying? I can't go out there and stand and say, don't park in my driveway. But we have done everything humanly possible to solve that situation for her. And ma'am, I knew you were upset, but the next time your son has 102, call the ambulance, because you don't. Let me just finish. Just calm down. Because you don't know if by the time you get to your car, you can go into a seizure. So the first thing you should have done is call an ambulance and have them come and administer some type of aid to him. For kids his age, if they hit the 102 and 103, that's when you know they're in a seizure. So you don't need to take the time to try to drive in there to get on for ambulance. Come give my son some health care, and they could have done it right on the spot. And then you wouldn't have to get so emotionally upset. Because we understand your issues. The one thing we cannot do is stand in your driveway. Because everybody's human here. Everybody here has parked in somebody's driveway and blocked somebody at one time or another. So don't sit here and say whatever. Because sometimes you just say, I want running for a minute. I'm not going to be right at it. I have a school going right next door to my house. So, I go to work like 6:37 in the morning. I might back up and there's a whole big truck sitting in front of my driveway. Then I'm like you. I get up, I'm on to calm down. Just move the truck. I got to be at work at a certain time and they move it. But
You won't say that, Tony.
No.
No. Assume that they're only going to be a minute. And one guy, he turns out, he says, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, you sent me apology. I was so mad I didn't say anything, but I didn't curse him out there. But I did say, okay, so no problem. People, it's just human nature that some people will have driveways, and sometimes they don't even realize they're in a driveway. And I live next door to a church, and I might come home and find a couple cars all the way in my driveway, all the way down, and they say, oh, we thought this was a parsonage. Each doesn't live here, but they're still because it's church. So I'm saying, just be patient. I'm trying everything you possible. Every time you call, they will show up. I mean, most of the time, but you gotta understand, if they got a shooting or some emergency over in this point, it's gonna take a little while sometimes.
Which is why the parking, whatever it is, needs to not just be for Main Street. It needs to be for the entire
Always for
city.
the entire town.
Okay, that's what I
Parking
want
in
to
utilities for the entire town.
But
Yeah.
For the entire town.
the
And this young lady
first
might
time
give
it
a
has
shit.
ever been sick like this. So I'm panicking, I'm not
And
even,
next time, call the
I got
ambulance, please. Call the
next time I know,
Okay,
this was the first time for all of that, so I was panicking.
Public
and
works,
I was
I gotta
upset.
take care of it.
But I'm good now.
Well, I just wanted to comment, this lady right here, and we'll be right to you. I just want, can I say, well, are we allowed in the driveway, or can they issue any of those cones that you could put, if that's a habitual thing that's happening with you? Can they put any cones, is that legal, or can they put cones in her, she can have cones in her own driveway?
Does she have the yellow
The big fat, whatever the code's called.
Well, maybe not the cones, but the yellow, the driveway.
I think she did that, Kelly. She has all of that. She has signs, she has the paint, she has all of that.
Don't take them.
But I'm just saying, you can't put the cones because. It's not, I'll find out what the big. Because she can put the cones there, that would deter somebody from having to get out of the car. They would just move. They deter somebody. To move somebody's car. I just keep on going.
No, the only thing you have to do, you have to instruct the police department to tow the car. Listen right here. It's called a quality of life issue, and I know it's ignored. You got certain people that just feel they could do what they want. The only thing gonna stop them if you start towing the car.
Yes.
Now, you spoke about all the new buildings, they get one car spot per family. Today in America, that's not enough. The average apartment got 3 cars. So you give them 1, 2 people gonna park somewhere else. The only way to stop it, you gotta have a police force with a designated towing company. And the moment somebody park, listen, if I park anywhere and I get towed, I'm not parking there no more. And that's the only thing gonna stop the average person.
Right.
I agree.
I know the answer to everything.
Listen, because I go to the same issue with parking. I look at my camera, I'm at work, people park up in my driveway, but I'm at work. Sometimes they just block. One time I was outside working my backyard, I come out this guy's parking. Oh, I'm going out to make sure I'll be a few minutes. People can't park there.
What street are you living on?
No, that's it.
Oh, well, how you working looking at your camera? You think this Does that mean your boss should be mad because you're
No one said you better. But the other question I have, is when is that gray house gonna come down that's boarded and burned?
Yeah.
That's an eyesore. Yeah. I like that gray house on North, it's a drain.
Oh, I don't know,
It's the only boarded house in the world.
Isn't that the one that they're ready to take down the building?
Yeah, it's
I think so.
I think. No, but I think they're getting ready to tear it down and build something there.
That's the part of the house that's in the, but it's burnt and it's going in.
We gotta build, we'll call it March. Well, we won't. March.
There's 2 houses over there that's coming down. It's coming down. Alfred has bought them and they're gonna put something there. They just haven't started the work yet.
You know, homeless people living in rooms. You so, okay,
That's what you talk about with the whole people upstairs.
I don't live in it, but I know they live in it. Then they live in the other one too, but that's, at least that's not going
The
on.
cops, we have been monitoring them.
Okay.
We don't want them to set it on fire and something.
This gentleman right here. Supposed to put them out. Good morning, how are you?
Thank you. I say thank you for the region in the park on Rapper Street and Burchard Avenue. It's looking very well.
Yeah, that's what we're
I appreciate that. That will help. Also the riprap, clear the riprap out. Thank you for that finally. As it relates to, I heard being a part of meetings when it comes to. Yes, I'm sorry. Good morning, gentlemen. As it relates to renovations, you mentioned the YMCA and being part of those meetings to make sure comments are being made. So my question is, what's the difference between being a part of planning meetings where the decisions are made for these properties versus a community meeting or a council meeting where the decision was already made, so now we're just talking about what the decision is. So I think it may be focused on having people part of the planning when the decisions for the property being made, and make sure we're all aware of those meetings, because that's where, when it's done, it's done. By the time we get to the council, it's all about approval and appropriating money. So it needs to be a connect, not to wait to the council meeting, get a part of the planning meetings and make sure that conversation is happening. And then lastly, about the park planning properties, and mention something else. It failed me, but I'll come back to it, but thank you.
So thank you for that,
I'm sorry.
council.
Go ahead.
Because it's in, I'm the councilwoman for that ward. But as far as the planning meetings, they happen I think it's on Wednesdays. But the planning board is where they review all the applications and the things, but you can come and be as the, public, what do you call it? You have the public session and you can talk and ask questions about, and you can always come to City Hall to get a copy of the renderings of what they're doing. But sometimes they don't have like public meetings on things that's happening on the planning board because it's already done and the developer has spent all this money. But you can also find out through City Hall when the planning board meetings are. And you can, because they're still virtual, you can dial in and you can be a customer. You can ask your questions as to what they're planning and what they're planning to do. But
All of those things, I wanna know what's going on.
But just another suggestion, give them, you got a resume?
Yeah.
Give the mayor a copy of your resume,
Okay.
send it to him, and maybe when he has another opening on the planning board, he can appoint you. All right? Okay.
No, but can I just say something? And I agree with this gentleman said. I think, the planning board approves things sometimes before the general community has a say-so in it, okay? And the planning board will approve it, and then nobody has to say so about, oh, I don't like that. It should have been this or it should have been that. And then it's over with because the planning board approved it.
But you can't, Councilman Ross, you can't blame the planning board.
I'm not blaming
Everybody has access to the planning board meetings. And I tell everybody all the time, I attend all those meetings because I used to be on the planning board. And we advertise and we say, but if you have a concern, don't wait till a planning board meeting and say, I don't agree. Call the city and find out what's going on. Anybody is invited to those meetings and you can ask questions, say what you feel, how you feel. And and I guess one of the things we can move forward with is have a director best when they're planning a project, that they send it out and say, here's what we're planning to do at XY location. If you have any concerns, call the director of planning at City Hall, and she will sit down with you and go through that, and she will tell you what your options are. The one reason we don't do a lot of meetings sometimes, what they call public forums, because you get maybe 5-10 people, but the people that need to be there, like you, never show up. So they'll say, well, I'm working. I can't give that time. I couldn't make it. My child has got this in school. My child has got this. Everything is open to everybody. Everybody. All you got to do is just seek the information, and you can join and come in on the planning board meeting and let them know. Or you can come in and sit with Director Best. Her office is always open.
I think what this group is saying is that we have better and more communication.
But as a councilman, you can make that happen.
Well, we're going to.
So I just asked the mayor before he ran down the stairs, and Councilwoman Easton already answered. He said, but he gave a legal version of the planning board. They deal with the legalities of the plans. The community meetings, they deal with what you like, what you don't like. If it's Gothic, if it's New Age, or if it's stone, if it's look like Fred Flintstone house. You get to put your input on. The planning board deals with the legalities, the contracts, the plans.
Situated.
Right.
We've changed a lot of things just on comments from the public and stuff like that. But like I tell everybody, we can't read your mind. If you don't come out and speak up, then you don't know.
No.
But don't wait until it goes up, then all of a sudden everybody has a problem with it.
No, that's not my question.
Yeah.
There's a gap between what's said in the community, and what's approved at the planning board. So what's discussed in the community doesn't always make it to the authorization of the planning board. That's the gap, and that's what I'm talking about.
Everything we've done is funded by a developer. It's their money. And what you might think is a good idea, they might think it's a bad idea. So they're going to go with their plan that they think is best for the community. And then the planning board votes on it, and if the developer says, and I'll just give you an example, right across from my house is a vacant lot. And they get ready to put, you know where I live, right?
No.
Right on Cleveland Street, right between the church and the school. You live over there, you don't know where I live.
I don't know you live.
Right on Cleveland Street. And then we pull down the old structure, right?
Yes,
We would put apartments there, so like next to the house. And the developer wanted to put washer, he wanted to put what do you call them, on each floor. for the washing and dryers.
Oh, okay, laundromat, no.
Our mayor wanted a wash and dry in every apartment. And me and him was sort of disagreeing about that because I said, if you're on the top floor of your apartment, wash your leaks, it's going to leak all the way down, which means a lot more work. And the developer said, no, well, let me just put a center on each floor so everybody can go to the wash and dry. Then if something happens, we contained in one area. But he lost that battle, so now he's putting a wash and dry in every apartment. So those are the conversations that needs to happen when things are going on. Now he could have said, I'm spending the money, I'm going to do development, I'm going to stick with what I planned, but he agreed to change it. So I'm just saying, just your voice and coming out and speaking up, and if they don't get offended if they say it doesn't work with my plan. No, I'm just saying, because a lot of people say, oh, we gave input, but nobody ever took our input. But so don't get offended if what you suggested doesn't match with what we're doing. But you can always do that.
So I understand the language. My thing is in terms of the rules of the city versus what they want to do, right? And that there's a intersection of that, not they just doing whatever they want to do or they're doing something that doesn't fit.
No, because they have to go by the planning board has a certain amount of rules that they have.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So making sure that matches. Okay.
They do. I have to say we have a good planning board and we have a good director of planning.
Okay.
And they make sure they go by the law and everything has to be legal. Because if it doesn't, we can get sued.
We agree.
Yeah, we can get sued.
So I just want to make one quick comment, and there's Miss Scott, Miss Samuels, and what's your name? Anthony. I'm so glad you said that. We were having a coffee conversations, and a lot of people, I was shocked. It was in Bella Italia, it was probably about 50 people there. And I said to the crowd, you know the development is approved at the planning board. Some people bit my head off. So the planning board is where you need to start instead of coming to the council meeting to bless us out. People didn't know that. They bit my head off, and then the mayor was there, he of course stopped it. But it's always like a teachable moment, a learning moment. For me, I was under the impression you're at a council meeting, you've been coming for years, you have to know in your head and your mind that this is approved by the planning board. Until I made that statement at a coffee conversation, key people in that audience that I thought knew, they didn't know. So I'm very glad that you brought that up again. I'm glad Councilwoman Easton explained it. Ms. Scott.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there, I want you to see me, because I've been on these calls. I think that all meetings are important, whether it's the council meeting, because there are important things that happen there, but the planning meeting is especially important, to your point, because there are things that are discussed. By the time we hear about them on the council call, it's a done deal. And how are we to know? Not to mention you have people that are moving into Orange every single day that still don't know. So communication is key. And most of you have had careers in this room, such as myself, and you've all attended meetings. Collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. Many of you are running for re-election this year, and you want to build and establish trust. And that's what seems to be lacking. When this woman calls Aisha 6, 7, 8 times to the police department or to whoever, and she's upset today, that's because something's not working. Something's not working. So this is the result of something's not working. And that's all I have to say. All meetings are important, and we should know about all of them. Thank you.
But I want you to know that we are not ignoring. Miss Samuels knows that when she calls Benny, she calls, I don't know, Steph Johnson.
Benny or whoever is in charge of parking.
Okay. Okay.
I just have their phone number.
They respond to her. Most of the time they do. And we ticket Miss Scott, and we told Miss Scott, so what do you want us to do as a city? You want us to park in her parking lot and shoot people? because you're saying that.
That's not what I'm saying.
She very upset. So explain. You know me. I mean, we call each other Adrian and Ron. Yeah. So like, it make me understand, because to me, it sounds like
it's not anybody saying that y'all are not doing enough.
Right,
Nobody is saying that. I would never say
I know.
that.
Right.
I know.
Because I understand that we all are in a situation where we can only do so much.
Right.
And this has been going on for so long that I'm being told that, like, I can't put down cones. Like, I have, like, this has gotten to the point where I have a whole following on my Facebook and Instagram just for Driveway Chronicles. Because people are like, what the hell is going on in Orange? When year number 2 going into this, I had to use my social media platform to have people call the Orange police to ask them, why are your cops allowing people to block this woman's driveway when she's been here for over a year? Once that started, that's when Benny and everybody was like, oh, we have to do something because obviously, and I had friends all over the freaking world on my social media because I was in the military and I've lived all over the U.S. So I had people all over the U.S. looking at this, wondering what the heck is going on in Orange. Why are they still allowing these people to block this woman's driveway?
Right.
And it's always the people who live in the building across the street. And don't know what it is that can be done because at this point, I'm ready to like go over there and just burn that whole place down.
And see, this should never happen.
I am, because it's always somebody from there. It's never, or somebody visiting them.
Right.
So maybe you have a specific house. It's the apartment.
And she said this on council calls. She said this before. This is nothing new. I've heard this before.
So it may be a thing where we have to, I don't know, our legal department probably have already contacted. Our legal department probably has already contacted that building. I don't know where we are with legalities. I mean, we could ask them, but I just wanted you to know that we do respond to Ms. Samuels. We do.
I'm not saying that you don't. I'm not saying that there hasn't been follow-up. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't misunderstand. And he speaks too well for me to speak for her. She's intelligent. My point being is that all meetings are important. Communication is lacking. Collaboration is key. And that is why when we get on these council calls, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call you out, Council President. Because you take everything that people say is a criticism. And it's not a criticism. This is supposed to be a collaboration of residents coming together with the council to make things better. And every time somebody says something, it comes across as a criticism. Or if I have one question, I can't ask 2, even though maybe 3 people on the whole call of residents have questions. How is that fair? How is that fair? I can't ask a second question. And then if I'm having a problem with my Zoom and I can't get on camera, why does it take the legal department to say, let it through? That's a problem.
So to your point,
I'm not here to talk about her issues. These are mine.
the council meeting is 2 meetings at one time. It's the conference meeting where we ask any questions that we have about the legislation. This is where we have stuff out at the conference meeting. And then we go into the regular meeting. And the regular meeting is where we vote. And the regular meeting, like you watch some towns, their regular meeting is 15 minutes. Because they just vote on what it is, the business of the city. Or some towns, they might have a conference meeting on one night or at 12 o'clock in the day, and then they have the regular meeting at 6. So normally, if you watch other towns,
I'm not concerned.
residents to ask questions to the director.
But I'm not concerned about them.
I'm saying, they don't. The questions by the code, by Robert's rules, should come from the council people. So when you ask a question, a council person can say, Director Mays, can you answer Ms. Scott's question?
Right.
So that's how it can flow. Yeah.
And I think that's the issue, right? We're doing too many unhealthy comparisons. I want to know, what is the structure of your committee? How should it be run? That way we don't get offended when someone doesn't respond to a question, especially repetitive questions. People feel like they're not being heard. If I have to say one more time, can you make Orchardville Avenue a one-way? Can somebody check into this or check into that? And the next call, I hear nothing. The next call, I hear nothing. Nobody follows up. I'm just using that as an example.
So have you received a petition
No, I have
for
not.
Argyle? Where
No,
you
I have
go
not.
walk Argyle and say, knock on all of your
No, I have not.
doors?
Nor have I been asked to do that on any call. What I have been told is that they will look into it. Not one person has ever said, go get a petition, until now. And I've been on several calls, just like this meeting today. If it wasn't a robocall, this woman right here wouldn't have known about it, or anybody else in this room. I have asked countless times that there be a robocall for the council calls. How many times have I said that, Aisha? How many times have I said that, Councilwoman Wooten? Eason? How many times? All I do is she's not here. She's not here. Not going there.
The purpose of a council person is to get all.
Sir, I'm aware, and she's aware. And I don't want to throw her under the bus because she's not here.
Under the bus.
She's not here. I know who she is. I know who she is. And we've been very vocal in the South Ward about our council person. Very vocal.
Let's start. We're not going to go there today.
I'm not doing that.
We heard you loud and clear. I just want to respond to one thing. And I guess Councilman Wu sort of alluded. A council meeting is for council business and city business. We are legislators. That's why we hold those meetings to pass legislation that's going to benefit the community. Hopefully the legislation we pass is because we got some input from somebody in the city or a resident that said we develop legislation to support that need, and then we put it as an ordinance or a resolution, and it goes into codified in the books. So anytime the cops want to look for something, they look in the book to say, what have we legislated? Now all of us work, all of us attend meetings on our job, and all of us have bosses and meetings are held. I'm going to say they all have structure. There is an agenda, and we have an agenda which we follow. So when we codified our agenda, it says so that if you want to get a copy of it, you can come to City Hall and they can give you a copy. So that's what we follow. Not saying that we ignore you, but one of the things that when you have a council person and you want our guy to be in one way, that should be your first stop. Then you can come to the meeting and say, I asked my council person, nothing was done, and we will move to the mayor or somebody else. But we are not going to get involved. You don't need to respond.
I'm not going to respond. But listen, this is not a dictatorship, though, right? This is a conversation. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
So,
this is
my
what
board, they call me, I try and be there. I even come to your house and knock on your door. That's right. And say, do you have a problem? Or when they call me and say, something is happening in my backyard, I say, okay, I'm going to come with the cop to see what's going on. Personally. Later called me and say, she had poltergeist in her house. I said, ma'am, next time that happens, call me. She said, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, I'm going to get out my bed and come spend the night with you. She never called me again. Because I'm saying to you guys that we do respond to your consideration. But a council meeting is not where you get up and air all your dirty laundry and then you want to be disrespectful to us because we're not doing our job. We are doing our job.
Have I ever been disrespectful?
I'm just saying, it's a legislative body that you elect council people to do the footwork for you.
That's right about that.
And then if I've been your councilwoman, I've been a councilwoman 20-something years, and you know why? Because I support my ward. I support the people.
You do.
I go to their houses. I do what needs to be done. And all I'm saying is, if your council person is not doing that, then you need to look elsewhere. That's simple.
Look elsewhere for a new council person.
And have somebody talking about the same thing.
No.
And like with Miss Samuels, we heard you. We've done everything humanly possible to stop them from blocking your driveway. But the one thing we cannot do is control human people and the things that they want to do. And it looks like you said the cops are not responding, but they come to write tickets, they tow the cars. but they can't be there 24 hours. And sometimes, yes, it do take them a little longer. Because we might have had 3 or 4 cops that called out that night. And they might not even have the staff to get there when you need them. But we need to be patient and think about things. Because that happens in everybody's daily life, even on your job. You want to meet with your boss, he might say, I'll meet with you next week. You're going to stop at his office and say, well, I told you I wanted to meet with you. You know that's not true because he'll write you up and fire you. So let's just all work together in 2020.
And that's what the hope has always been.
And we're trying to make sure, in fact, I'll just say last night about this meeting, I got 3, my home number, my city number, my personal call. All 3 phones rang at the same time with a robot telling me about the meeting today at 12. So if you're not getting the robocalls, then come to City Hall to see how you get your number on the list. Because you know, some of us change cell phones like we change clothes. We change cell phones like we change clothes. Let's just be honest. I'm just being honest. So if you're not getting a call, then come to City Hall and make sure they have the right number for you. Because we do the same thing I work in the school district. Parents call, said, I'm not getting the robocalls. Okay. You done moved 5 times, but you never updated the address and the phone number. So that's not why you're not getting a call. So let's be honest about human nature and things we need to do to work. But all of us need to work together and collaborate, talk to each other, but be respectful. There's no sense to yell.
Absolutely.
Let's have a conversation. And if somebody says no, it don't mean that they're against you. It means they don't agree with you with what you do. People might call me and say, I need X, Y, Z. I tell them up front. I'm not doing that. And here's the reason why I'm not going to do it. They will walk away upset, but eventually they'll figure out, well, yeah, you know. But if you give them the reasons why things does not happen, it makes a lot more sense. And I saw you the other day. Weren't we in line together?
Can you please? Thank you.
Wait, Ms. Samuels, you didn't even know that me and Councilman Ross did this. We came to your block to find out about, it's all because of that apartment across from you. And I noticed nobody really parks in that parking lot because they're charging them. So instead of parking in that lot, so we were trying to come up with legislation where you can't charge for parking. We came up, so we need to talk to that apartment building. Nobody parks up, when you go up that little ramp near your house? Yeah. Nobody parks there. Right. They're trying to avoid making payments, so now they're parking on the street, and that's part of your problem, and we're working on that. I never told you, but did we do that?
Yes, we did.
I'll have to, one thing that I do at the council meetings, I don't like to brag about what I'm doing, but let me give everybody my phone number. It's my personal phone number.
And what ward you're in?
Huh?
And who do you represent? Tell them everything about you so they know who you are and what you do. Because you do a lot.
Just to let you know, my name is Councilman Montague. I've been a councilman for almost 4 years. I work with New Jersey Department of Labor for the last 27 years. I help people with jobs, training, social programs, rental assistance, homelessness, drug programs, you name it. That's what I do. It's way more than that, but it's not about me. It's about you. Every person in this room has 4 councilmen. I don't think people realize that.
And women, council women.
I'm sorry.
See how they forget that we're not.
I can't forget about you. You have 4 council persons that represent you. You can give me a call. Look at the Motleys over here. They call me for everything. They ain't from the South Ward, but they call me. My personal phone number is 973-476-8384. You can give me a call about anything. Mr. Motley over there was complaining to us, to Councilwoman Wooten, myself, Cliff Ross, about the park, the driving schools in Seven Oaks. What do we do, Councilwoman? We
Pass legislation that if you operate a driving school over there in the South Ward, and it was just certain streets, and they have been doing it for years and years and years because Councilwoman Summers Johnson said She went to a driving school, and she lives right around the corner, and they brought her back to her neighborhood, and that's how long it's been going on. We passed legislation. You have to register. You can only register a certain amount of cars, and then you have to pay the town. So you can't put the cones out. You can't impede traffic. So we are setting up a meeting with the administration to see how we can go forth in having that. What is it? Yes, enforced. As Councilwoman Easton and I, we did the metal doors on Main Street. You said you didn't want them. We got rid of them. So we need to talk to the administration about how you're going to enforce it. The people who drive those motorbikes, I don't know what you call those things. We passed legislation in the city of Orange. They cannot get gas from a gas station in the city of Orange Township. If they go to a gas station and they offend or threaten the owner, if the person can give them gas, but they take the tag number and they're going to be arrested and their bike might be confiscated and it might be burned or whatever they do to get rid of those bikes.
What was the reason why they couldn't get gas at the gas station?
Because we think if you're not allowed to come here and get gas, that's going to kind of stop you from rolling up and down our streets like you do. And it's going to let you know that we're not a friendly town and we don't want that in our town. And that legislation came from like a meeting such as this, telephone calls, text messages, people calling, people stopping you in the car, people seeing you on Main Street at Ken's Diner, eating your waffles and eggs or whatever, or you at Bella Italia having something to eat. Like that comes from us living in Orange and being in Orange and seeing you, the residents in Orange, and saying, hey, can you do this?
Yes. So I gave you my phone number. You have four. You want me to repeat it?
Yes.
973-476-8384. I got a city phone, but I give everybody my personal number. Okay? Miss Scott knows, she calls me sometimes, right? Yes. So you can call me, and I just want to put something out that's unrelated. The state put me in charge. Hold on, please.
You gotta let us know.
Excuse me. 1 second. So, it's something special. If you know anybody, the state put me in charge of hiring 100 unemployment representatives. Okay, you get $24 an hour. Who been on unemployment recently?
Oh, not recently.
You know the people you call in and you can never get to them? Now we just allocated funds. We're hiring 100 new call center reps. $24 an hour. You don't need a degree. And you can work 3 days in the office, 2 days at home, and overtime on Saturdays. Let me know. If you're interested, text me. I'm going to give you the information immediately. I'd rather see all my people get jobs. I see people having problems with economics, finances. The best cure is what? Employment. So let me know. I got a lot of stuff available. Mr. Motley, I'm going to get you a job. You need to work.
Well, first you got.
He said, you stay here a long time. Who job you got? I'm kidding. I got to take the job first.
So, if you need me for any type of social services, feel free to reach out to me. Most of my people, they just call me. A lot of people here call me. You call me. Yeah, you call me. So anytime you need me, let me know. Do I know you?
Yes.
I do know you.
Yes.
Yeah, Walsh Ave. Oh, Walsh Ave. How you doing? All right.
So I wanted to say, like, we're very cognizant of your time, and normally these meetings last an hour. No, I started late. I had to run and get some stuff. I started about 5 minutes late. I want to overtime. We can. I'm just saying, like, if you want to leave, feel free to leave, and of course we'll be here. I'm just saying that we normally start on time. This gentleman right here was the first gentleman here. He saw me running around. He said, "Am I too early?" I said, "No, I'm late." But please, I want you to feel like you can stay, you can relax,
At 6 o'clock, I gotta do something, but we can hang out, ask questions, and I hope everyone that wanted to speak and everyone that had something that they were concerned about got a chance to say that to the crowd. This young lady right here was very, very quiet on boss. Okay.
Monty was talking about employment.
Okay.
I just had a question about, and I texted Monty about it.
So he knows.
Summer employment for high schoolers.
Okay.
East Orange has a similar program.
I got you.
So you,
Yes.
and then we also hire from the city during the summer, and you can talk to Andrea Crouch right here with the checkered. If it's a young adult, and we hire older people too.
Storage's program is ran out at the mayor's office. You take the,
Yes.
Mayor Warren runs it through this young lady over here. So he doesn't really, that's not money. If he starts, because I know I process those working papers, which I was so happy when they sent them to the state and we don't have to do them. We did millions last year in June. Everybody wanted a job, which was good. Then the state took it over. We were like, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. So then you have to go on the website to get working papers. But he started downstairs through the mayor's office, and they send a flyer around every year.
Okay.
But one of the things before that, I want to address something that Mr. Motley asked. Mr. Motley asked about affordable housing for the poor people. You also know there's Section 8 out there, and there's subsidized housing. And when you have people come to you that say they cannot find, you need to recommend those programs because they can go through the state of New Jersey. And I think some of them is processed through the city of Newark. The only issue I have with those, and Councilor Montague is saying about all of these resources, they don't answer their phones. You leave a message after message after message, and I've even texted the governor's office about that. When I call the number, we need to find out, they need to give us a live person that can deal with your issue on the spot, because they never call you back. And all you get is phone. So I've been talking to the governor's office about making sure if you're giving out number, there's going to be a live body that's going to pick it up. Because we can put these numbers on you all day, but if you can't reach them in a month, what good does it do? All right? You wanted to say something? Yeah, hold on. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Esther. I'd like to know what's going on with that the YWCA. I pass it every day and I look at it and I say, what a waste. Because I'd like to see an educational, cultural, community center at that Y.
The mayor answered that before you came. They all working on it. They're looking for a developer and getting the renderings done, but it hasn't happened. Because before we can move forward with the Y, we have to find a developer that can invest the money to get what we need. So right now,
What are we asking for?
Well, I really don't know how much it's gonna take, but once the developer commits to developing the property, then they will tell how much funding they will put based on the renderings of what's gonna be go there. It's gonna be housing, I think, at the top, and the Y is gonna be at the bottom.
You are going to make it a Y again?
Yes.
Because I'm asking what is going to happen with that building, because I can envision an educational, cultural activity center where the community can get involved, the kids, we can do music, we can, education, the whole thing.
Well,
Now, I'm an old organizer from Newark back in the day. I worked for the United Community Center, UCC, and I worked with Donald Payne and Gibson and all those guys.
Development Recreational Center.
Oh, good, that's exactly what I'm asking. Basketball courts, maybe Orange can develop a high school band. There's so much that can be done there, and I can see the activities. I'd like to be involved in that, because this is my forte. And I'd like to know when it's going to start, because I've been passing it daily. And I know that Rossi Paint owns property there?
Not
Not
anymore.
anymore.
I hope, yeah, because he actually now, he's not serving the community. He has like a paint store, but it's not for the consumer, it's for commercial. Commercial people come in, you know, people who are painting their apartments and contractors, but he's not serving the community like we know the old Warsy paint. Like, I've lived here for 34 years, so
Just make us,
I've seen the changes.
in the meantime, while we are getting that underway and getting the plans together, why don't you go to our library and see if we can bring some of the programs that you, in the meantime, at the library. You got the library sitting there. You can do some of that arts.
Oh, the activities that I'm talking about is the library cannot withstand. This is actual activities. Kids go in after school on the weekends and they play their basketball, whatever. But also it'll become, you know, they'll have computers, sessions for people who want to learn English and so forth.
Also give you a secret of what's coming in 2024. We've been in discussion with the Essex County Director, Joey D. There's going to be a community center for all of Orange to participate and to use in Orange Park. Okay, and it's got to be, again, a multi-dimensional building where everybody can use at your convenience and do whatever you want to do in there.
It's a senior community center for seniors.
But you know, that Y is perfectly centralized. It's perfectly centralized, the Y. And it's a community activity center. And this is for elder people, for people who want to learn English and so forth.
We want to move on. That gentleman wanted to say something. He told, thank you. Jumping into different.
Hello, everyone. I'm fine. This is a question for Mr. Monty. Mr. Monty?
Yes, sir.
All right, I've been an iron worker for a long time. Okay? I'm a union iron worker. Okay. When you look around Orange, as we all know, there's a lot of projects. Okay, there's a lot of construction, right? Now, when you look at those constructions price, there's a minimal or next to none workforce that looks like the diaspora of Orange.
I can answer that.
Oh, okay.
Let me answer that.
Yes.
Okay, so all of our project, all of the projects that we do,
Right.
it does require 2% qualified individuals. We don't have, right now, I'm gonna be working in conjunction with all 4 of these council people. I have a program coming in to give your OSHA 40 for free.
Right.
See, we can't just have laborers that aren't certified. They don't have to take them, so they can go elsewhere. If you bring me 5 people that are certified right now, I get them right.
Okay, my question would be, when I became an iron worker, all right, I'm a local iron worker from local 40, and that's in New York. The state, the federal had to step in, right, so that they hire X amount of people who looks like me.
They have to be qualified.
Right, but how I also got in is through an apprentice program, right? Is there more that the city of Orange can do to like legislation?
Iron Workers of America apprenticeship program, operational engineer apprenticeship program right now. I have it right on my page right now.
Right.
If you're interested, I try to lead these young gentlemen to get their HVAC because I can help people get free training.
Right.
HVAC, OSHA 30, anybody that needs training, all you gotta do is talk to me. If you're not working, I can help you get free training. I work for New Jersey Department of Labor at the Newark one stop, but I work for the entire county. We gotta get our young people, I try to get them to go to National Career Institute, get their electrical, plumbing, and then help them get into unions. This is how we're gonna grow our workforce. You have to be qualified. You're qualified.
Yes, but they can also be laborers. The laborers, you have to have the OSHA 10, the OSHA 30 in order to be on a job site, but you don't have to be skilled as you know.
That's what I.
Well, right, but you can be a laborer. You can be, you know, things that doesn't need that technical.
I have people right now on the ShopRite site.
Right.
That through Dave Sharp in the city of East Orange, I got people working at ShopRite as laborers. I help them get their OSHA 30. Now, when you go to the developer, look, I have these 5 individuals that are certified. I need you to put, and believe me, all 4 of us can talk to them and say, we need them to go to work. Am I right?
So I think with this
Okay.
an action program.
Well, how do we find out this information?
That's exactly.
How does information get to the community? If it's not through the mail, and I'm sure that's not local law is going to tell us.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying generally, how would we, I think I talk loud enough not to have this,
Right.
but how does the community get that information? Whatever that information is, if you have employment, if you have, I'm a travel agent, but I also am an artist, so I create a paint. How do we know when vendors you have any kind of activities where vendors could come and participate in?
Facebook, it comes on
Yeah, they
Facebook
got
all the
everything.
time. 'Cause I get-
Okay, so Facebook, what's the Facebook page so that we could get, how would we, let me just say this. It might be on Facebook, but how would we know that it's on Facebook? How, does any information come out to us, to the community, they say, listen, if you want to find out about yada, 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 go on yada, 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 so that now, does that come in the mail to us? How would we know about any of that?
I'm listening.
Okay,
Now, let me tell you the relationship between me and this before I was even a council person.
okay.
Right in this room, I used to call you up and say, I want to bring FedEx here. I want to bring, and then we put it out there and people used to show up. I did it this year. We do it all the time.
You said you put it out there, you put it out there where?
We use constant contacts to do the
Yes.
flyers. And we went on a campaign last year, a couple of campaigns, and asked people to give their email addresses, to give their telephone numbers, so we can stay in constant contact with you. So we do the flyers, we do the robocall.
I get the robocalls, I don't get
do-
flyers.
It's on the website,
Website, and we wealth of information on our website.
and we do, we have a ton.
What's the website?
OrangeNG.gov.
Okay.
You have to go there and subscribe.
Well, let the new,
It's only one.
it's only one. The old one wasn't deleted yet. So if you look at the old one, it has the old phone number.
Right.
But you gotta go to the one he's telling you.
OrangeNG.gov.
They gotta go to Google and say delete it because.
I got you. I'll take care of that.
But if you write down the right one, it's the correct one. Orange NJ, and they have an Instagram page.
OrangeNG.gov.
Yeah.
So I wanted to speak to this gentleman here. So what I heard you say was, even though we require the 10%, and sometimes we don't have the skilled people, but what I heard you say is, if we can legislate in our legislation that a certain percentage can come from laborers, a certain percentage can come from skills, a certain percentage can come from the various things that they do, I think that's what we need to do. So we can ask the law department who handles the contracts to see if it's legal for us to put like, okay, if you're doing this building right now, we know that you do 10% of people that are here. If we don't have any skilled people, see, that's an out for the development, that's an out for you, right? But if we say, if you can't find skills, if we say 10% gotta go to labor, we can do that as legislators, because we can write that into the law.
Flagging.
Right.
You know, people can do housekeeping.
Right.
Website.
Right.
And I'm not seeing no one who looks like me.
Now, so we can definitely do that. Now I wanted to give
It also comes out to the contract because just take out those people that's not being affected.
Our workers here, which are hired by the contractor. And it's a, then the contractor can hire people. So it could be a lot of work. So that's what I'm thinking. I think we can do that, but I think what we have to do is we have to put where we want that percentage to come out of. Like now, it's just a blanket thing where they can come anywhere. So they say to us, well, you don't have skilled people. And a good example of that is the housing authority. Some years ago, you did an HVAC class, right?
Yeah.
Housing authority did an HVAC class. Free. They were gonna pay for everything free. We couldn't get enough people in Orange to pass the math to get into the HVAC class. So we can't blame that on the housing authority. We can't, like, who's that fault there? So we can't blame it on the school. But I mean, maybe we can, I don't know if the mayor can even do something like that during the summer, have programs where as a community benefit, the developers can provide HVAC and they can provide those steel licenses. Yes, ma'am. Oh, so has MP.
Thank you. I'd like to say hello to each and everyone, and thanks for this opportunity. I would like to know if we could have some speed bumps at North Essex Avenue. There have been a lot of accidents, cars driving like they're on the highway and running into parked cars. 3-4 cars have been damaged.
Okay.
And this is constantly. I spoke to the councilman, but he told me to give him a call, but I never follow up. But now I have the opportunity. I would like to know if you could have some speed.
So y'all know the process before we can get speed bumps, right? We have an engineer that comes to the town. He's here every Tuesday, and we give him a list of things that we want to do. So before the speed bumps can even be voted on by the council, the engineer goes out and he does a traffic study, the survey and the traffic study. So, and the petitions also as well. So you got 4 council people in here. So we'll make sure it's done. And plus we got our students that's going to transcribe this too. So that will also go to the administration.
A lot of cities, like I work in North, they getting rid of some of those speed bumps because a high-speed chase with somebody that don't know how to drive, they have had cars that went airborne. They getting more into rumble strips. Instead of that, because the cars that parked next to on my street, it already happened. Somebody sped down my street, going like 70 miles per hour, went over the speed bump, and they crashed on somebody's car, and they ran and left the car. So I don't know if it was a good idea for me to get a speed bump on Duane Street, because now it's a problem.
I'd like to know who exactly is my country.
North Essex.
North Essex, right behind me.
You're either, she's either east or north. Because I think one side, Councilwoman East, or North Essex is one side east and one side north. So it depends on what side of the street you're in.
I'm right next to the church.
On East Ward. East Ward. I had some years ago, it used to be that whole area was in North Ward, but I had more voters in my ward than any city in any area in Orange. So the county decided I had to give up part of this north so they could even out the voters. I had to give. So I gave up. Look, you're blessed because Councilwoman Wooten lives in the East Ward. And she's at large. She's actually what council person is. Carrie Coley. But you have 4 council people. Always remember that. You can utilize all of us. But I got a vested interest in the East Ward. I'm councilman at large, but I live in the East Ward. So what was her issue? She wanted to know who was right.
There's a lot of accidents that happen in that.
I'm gonna come to your street. It's the one way I turned it into some years ago. 40 accidents.
Right across the street from my house. The cars them are bleeding. Cars.
After they cross Main Street?
Yes.
Right after you cross Main Street?
Yes. I'm right
Behind City Hall.
The entire block. They're running into park cars.
Oh, okay. Excuse me, I have something in regards to the parking issue.
Yes, ma'am.
So in some towns, they have parking for permit parking only.
Yes, ma'am.
So only those people that live on the block can park. That's one of the issues to me, we resolved it. The other thing that is a problem on my block is that they park, but they still in their driveway. In some towns, they have a sign that says, you gotta give 3 feet. If you don't give that 3 feet, the police automatically can come by and ticket that car. Orange needs to step up. It's a nuisance. Not on my block.
We don't have the signs up, but we have the signs, and I wish Marty was here, that they could put, if you go down, let me see, I'm gonna give you an example. If you go on White Street between, I think it's Linden Court or Ridge Court, there's a sign there at the corner saying, you cannot park behind this sign. We do have that in Orange. We just gotta make sure, if you wanna call Marty, have them put up some signs where you guys need them. But they only do it on the corners. They don't do it for driveways.
But I'm talking, okay, specifically in Montclair. My brother was dropping my son someplace. Somebody parked in somebody's driveway. The person couldn't get in, they reversed, called the police didn't question them like they do me. Why you can't park, why you can't get in your driveway. I shouldn't have to go through that when somebody's blocking my driveway.
They pay yellow lines for
We painted yellow lines.
legislating for the police to give it to
They-
them.
Excuse me,
They
in
don't
other towns, when people
It
call
has
the
to be
police,
legislated that every ticket you get, just reading, has a statute attached. No parking by statute 13:1. You can pay all the yellow lines that you want, but if it's not legislated, they cannot give a ticket because it will never hold up in court.
I've been to these meetings before, and it's the same problem. Now that apartment complex is coming on North Essex, can you imagine what it's gonna be like? And there's no parking now. I see people park on my block and go to their apartment building. A friend of mine who lives in East Orange said he was come park in Orange because Orange don't pay for parking. It's a problem, and it has to be addressed.
East Orange, they park on my street all the time from East Orange. It's a
When it's something addressed. If I come home 2 o'clock, I shouldn't have to worry about trying to get in my driveway because somebody else decides that, you know what, there's no other parking. Let me park in here.
So, Ms. Antoinette, so so what I think I'm hearing, we haven't legislated permit parking on your street.
No, you have not.
Okay.
And I've been here
So-
before for the same problem.
So we need to get you a petition.
Adrian, before you do that,
Yes, ma'am.
we are having a meeting on permit parking because it has become an issue in town. So before we go there, we need to work out the kinks. There is some issues with permit parking that our business administrator Hartley have been told. We are going to revamp that process. Because, and I've done the weekend Wall Street, and shit for Wall Street. Now, there was a lady sitting there for Wall Street. All we're getting is complaints. We put permit parking on Wall Street because when you go through there at night, because there's permit parking, all these open spaces, and the blocks that don't have enough parking is saying, why can't I park there? I come visit my friend. I want to stay all night, but I can't stay because it's permit parking and I get a ticket. It's open parking space. So we are looking at that again because somehow that went way too far. Keep in mind, permit parking only started because we were trying to protect the borders of Orange. Keep East Orange residents were coming to Orange Park. So we all done, we're doing the borders. Then there's something that happened. Everybody said, but we can't do that because there's not enough parking. When I look at being fair and let's be honest and let's thinking about somebody besides ourselves.
When I come home at 5,
I understand that.
there's no parking for me. There's people from the apartment building that comes home at 4 that has parking.
I'm paying taxes for that spot.
Right.
Thank you.
There you go.
And I have so many tickets, I have so many tickets, right now, they might lock me up for being here. You know what I'm saying? Right here in Orange, like she said, because I can't park Hanover Terrace. Because we have all these other people coming from other streets, and then they stalk the slots. When I get ready to leave, they will come and honk and watch, and I'm looking like, oh my gosh. Then when I come back, I have nowhere to park. So I park on the side, Scotland Road. I have tickets galore. What about that? What about the taxpayers and homeowners with tickets? I have so many tickets I haven't paid. Yes.
It's gonna be bad. It's bad.
It's bad now. So he was gonna give 10 spaces to the residents.
How many units? How many units? That makes no sense. There's no matter.
Because when we need parking lots in Orange, like you said.
That's right, we do. We do.
So when we're not having a block, I'm gonna tell you about 3 cars waiting for me to one way. And they get it back to us. They sit there.
But it looks horrible. I mean, it now looks, it doesn't look like a homeowner's block.
Right.
It's starting to devalue, to me, devalue, like I was so shocked. It's just, you know how you drive and says speed limit should be 30, so if you go faster than that, it changes. Whatever you call that. Well, it's at the corner of South Center and Claremont, right? And it looks so horrible.
We don't have a driveway, so why?
Driveway, we block it every day. I put out for this morning.
Okay.
Somebody on your block requested it. And that's what happened. We put up signs based on one person, which we are going to stop doing unless the whole block agrees.
Yeah, because it looked to me so horrible.
Somebody
I
requested.
was shocked when I saw
The
it.
city thought they were doing them a favor. They put up the signs. He don't like the sign.
Yeah, because I was shocked. I didn't even know that anybody was petitioning to get signed. And the next thing we see a sign, and it just looks like it looks
When
horrible.
you see things like that happen, that's because somebody made an issue and somebody did a knee-jerk reaction with the sign.
So we gonna go to this gentleman right here.
He said,
I mean, for that.
tell her why.
I called out of work this morning, because I couldn't leave. So somebody decided, it's not only one day, it's every day that happened, but today was worse. The person parked inside my driveway, I couldn't leave at all.
In your driveway, they drove in it.
Oh my God. 382. 382.
Did you call the cops? You should request it that they told the cop.
That's happening all the time. All the time. How many times I have to call out of work because of people block my driveway?
But what about those of us who don't have?
Hold on.
And we need to. And saying, give us permission to park or something, they said they're not doing that anymore.
This is loud. So we're really gonna start, we're gonna close out, but this gentleman right here didn't get a chance to speak at all. But, yes, ma'am. This sure is loud. I'm just holding way down here.
I have a question. I have an interest in starting a youth program. What steps do I take in order to start the youth program? In Orange, yeah, in Orange, like.
Give her name, her number, and y'all call each other. Tell her, because the mayor's gonna say, where's the proposal? So you bring the proposal, you meet with Andrea, and you basically like get it going. Is it basketball or?
No, softball.
Oh, I love that. Baseball is my favorite, but I love softball. Andrea, it's softball. So me.
Also, there's a well, but that's not so.
Let's keep that baseball.
So. You'll come back and talk about it. That was it? That's it? Yes. Thank you. Cool. Thank you.
I think I gave it to you.
Okay. All right, cool. You gave me two, huh? Just in case I lose one.
And this person parked on the street in front of my house. One night, it was my sister from North Carolina. One night, they said, yes. Next 6 months, she came, they said, no. I didn't do that. I did that on my street. I can find that out there for you. Oh, you have it?
Post office. Somebody posted a picture of this bill that they received, and I'm just like, she could have made that.
So, okay. We, if everybody could sign out when you leave, we just sign out. It's not the lady.